So we are back with Marketing Teardown, and today, as a reminder, we're looking at a company called Nuggs. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at their business model and see if it works, if it's a viable business model, especially in a direct-to-consumer D2C e-commerce context. But really, overall, is this something that's a sustainable business in the long term? Well, we got a lot going on here, but let's unpack this. So first things first, Travis, do you want to take a crack at these fundamentals, look at our assumptions here, and then we can go from there?
Yeah. So what we always try to take a look at is like, what's their customer lifetime value? Can they get those customers to continuously extend that lifetime value from even just like time, and how long will that person like continuously repurchase? And then comparing that to their acquisition costs. Their acquisition cost is going to be a little bit high, just simply because like at the end, you're looking at the price. Even if you acquire a customer like right beforehand, you're going to get hit with that shipping cost, because that shipping weight is really high. You have frozen shipping. That's just going to come with a lot of problems in general. You're going to have a ton of returns. It's going to be heavy because you have water weight from whatever you're cooling it with. So the CAC to LTV is going to be like a little bit tricky, but their like saving grace is their estimated margin. From our opinion, is roughly like 20 to 30%. So the unit economics of this business could work out. What they need to do is they need to have like fulfillment centers that are closer, or more fulfillment centers around where they're trying to ship to. Just some like clever shipping options and just getting that acquisition cost down. You want to talk about the ROI model?
Yeah. Well, and actually, before jumping to the ROI model, there's one thing that's super important with their shipping as well, which is the insulated containers that are absolutely required to ship something frozen. And I believe the way they're doing frozen is with dry ice in the package. And I'm not exactly sure the price of dry ice. I mean, it's certainly going to be probably more expensive than like some packing peanuts, for example. But it's also key to note that that requires an insulated container, because that ice has to stay as cold as possible during transit. And we're actually looking right now, this is confidential. We're working with a company, I can't say their name right now, that we might do some refrigerated shipping. And so we've been actually looking into the logistics model for that. And it is kind of a pain in the ass. Really, the only way this works is if you have a super high average order value, AOV, or if you have a super high lifetime value. And for sure, lifetime value is wherever you recoup most of that cost, because if your margin on every order is going to be a lot lower baking that in. So we are estimating this as about 20, 30% margin, but that could change a lot depending on the cost of that container. So that's the one thing that we don't exactly know how they're shipping as far as that container goes. That could make or break this model, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear how they logistically sort out dry ice too. Like, are they having like a third party fulfillment center where they're going through and they're saying like, okay, we're going to bulk purchase dry ice because we have so many frozen goods across so many different customers that we're able to make that purchase, and it's really simple? Or is it like a one-off where it's like, oh, this is incredibly complicated, because most people that deal with 3PLs are not dealing with not only a physical product, but a physical product that's food, and a physical product that needs to be cold.
Yeah. Not a lot of 3PLs will accommodate that. I mean, you can't use Amazon FBA for this, for example. Like, it's not going to work. And like, not only that, but it's not shelf stable. You got to keep it frozen from the factory, from production. So this is a complicated logistics situation. I too, very curious how they're actually managing this. It's interesting, because when we first looked at this, I actually thought that because it was plant-based, they didn't need to freeze or refrigerate the product. And I was thinking, hey, this is actually great. They're going to save so much money on shipping. D2C is going to be awesome, because you can't do this with incumbent real chicken nuggets, but not the case, which is very interesting twist. But all of that said, that brings us into the ROI model, which essentially they have a very simple D2C strategy at the moment. And to be honest, this extends to the retail strategy as well. Really, it's build a brand, build a strong, in-your-face, powerful brand, close subscriptions, repeat customers on top of that brand awareness, and then just try not to lose money on all of the logistics, and then make profit. It's kind of textbook, I would say, like modern D2C playbook. And I mean, it's working for them. They're growing like crazy. They've raised a ton of money. They're getting traction. I suspect getting into retail, actual retail stores, is going to be huge for them, just because of those frozen shipping costs. But I think it's working for them right now, at least where they're going. I don't know. What do you think?
So I just looked up a bunch of like 3PL frozen shipping companies, and it looks like they're all you don't get into them until they're at scale, right? So you have like
Yeah.
Hanson Logistics, you have Ryder, you have like foodlogistics.com, which is literally just like a list of like frozen 3PLs, but it looks like it's really, really hard to break into when you're a smaller company. And if we say what they're doing, like roughly $1 to $2 million a year revenue, it's going to be difficult to make those
tough.
deals with those larger frozen 3PLs.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And also a lot of these guys, I imagine, do stuff at volume. They want to ship a full FTL truckload into a retail store. They don't want to, or maybe like a few in the area. They don't want to ship like a couple boxes here and there. That's such a pain in the ass. So I guess all in all, that's basically what's going on in the business. And overall, for these reasons, we both gave him a Hopkins score of a 7. I think that's about right, just because the business is solid on the pure product. If you don't look at logistics, it's a great business model. With logistics built in, it becomes a huge pain in the ass. And to me, that's a 7. That's a 7 out of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely optimistic for this business model because it works really, really well at scale. But right now, they're not doing very good. Like that's me judging the business model right now. If they were to try to continue in this path, obviously they're trying to grow and they're like backed by a parent company that's going to have like a diversity of SKUs. But right now, I'll give them a 7 for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, lends a lot of credibility to them being venture backed. You first look at that and it kind of seems a little absurd. Like, oh, you raise all this venture capital for chicken nuggets? Like, what do you mean? This is not a tech company. What are you doing here? But it makes a ton of sense if you look at it that way. Because I don't know, some much larger food conglomerate will acquire them eventually and just instantly upgrade their logistics by just plugging them into their infrastructure. And like that could be profitability right there, even if they're not profitable now. So cool. Well, that is the teardown on their business model. A couple pluggables. Travis, you got some pluggables to plug?
Yeah, absolutely. So I run product over at Cinebody. It's a video production solution where you can direct anybody to capture video anywhere on the planet with their iPhone or with a traditional camera. And then you receive that footage. You can send them messages. Here's what you need to capture. Everything's all standardized. And then it bounces up to the cloud back to you where you can edit it and distribute it whatever you want.
Awesome. Good stuff. And I run a marketing company called Optimotive, and we help companies launch and scale new brands, new products, and enter into new markets. So if you want to do one of those things, hit me up and we should talk. That's the teardown. We'll see you guys in the next episode.